Good Monday morning. Here is Creamer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is the 8th of January, and here in Denmark it's very, very cold. So I'll get cracking on this one so we can heat our market up a little bit, because Friday's market in US was fairly muted, at least at the end of the session. As we can see here, it closed just, well, basically bang on the support resistance level here at 46.97 within a few cents, so a little bit up in the air still. I mean, we did close Thursday below, but Friday we did close just a little bit back above. So let's see here the next couple of days, can it actually stay afloat and maybe even bounce higher. If it can't really move back above, then we are looking at 4600 support level around there. Nasdaq 100 key support at 16,166, which is also the 61.8 retracement of this uptrend here of the last leg up. So that is a key level that should hold. Otherwise, we'll drop to around 15,745, or very likely to drop to that level. Europe markets this morning opened more or less unchanged across the board. We have EUROSTOXX 50 after a quite volatile Friday, still being caught between 44.83 and 43.84 here. So I think we could stay range bound here for maybe a couple of days. We need something that can trigger a movement. The DAX index 16,469. Bounced off of this Friday, trying to move back up here. So let's see if we can actually crawl back above 16,630. Well, then maybe there could be a little bit of a further up. The Amsterdam index also fairly muted, opening a little bit higher. A little bit lower this morning here, but still within the range. 765 key support area here, 765, 758. We could test it, but I don't think it will be broken. We can have the 55 moving average coming up. We have the 200, we have the 100. So there's some underlying support there. If we can move back above 781, well, then there could be further rebound potential. We have the Belgium market also ticking a little bit higher today. The Belgium market's been looking better than most of the other European markets, as they have been stay afloat above the lower rising trend line here. Belgium market is still fairly positive. We also have it back above 60 threshold, despite the fact that there's some divergence. So it will be a struggle, but there could be room up to 3,800 level. CAC 40 support at 7,405, still holding on, had closed above every single time it has tested here last week, still above here. I think we could see it crawling a little bit higher in the coming days, especially after Friday that actually ended on a very strong note. The Swiss market, range bound 245, sorry, and 11,057. That's the range you should look out for. Can it actually close above? I mean, it did spike above, but it couldn't really close above. However, we are still in an uptrend. There's no divergence on the RSI, as you can see, so there should be room up to 11,400. On the FX front, as usual, the euro dollar, we start here. It touched and just spiked below to the 61.8 retracement at 108.82 and the lower rising trend line there. So quite interesting that, and it's very key that it can hold on to that. Then we had a very volatile day Friday, setting back a little bit this morning, but still, as long as we hold euro dollar is holding up above this one, well, then there is still upside potential towards 110. We can see also here Friday it almost touched it within 2 pips or something like that. So Friday's move, it is what needs to be taken out either to the upside or downside for any direction. We have the 55 coming up here and the 200 moving average almost flat. So a little bit of a support in this region, but it is not unlikely that we could spike down to 786 retracement. We have seen that before, but usually it's around 61.8. However, we have the divergence here, so we really need to get back above the 60 RSI. If we do that, I think we could also cancel this divergence there if it's moving higher. On cable, Not really much going on. I mean, we are still below the rising trend line here. I can't really close above, so we could see a setback, or we should see a setback down to the 38.2 retracement at 125.83 level. So that's a key support around here that should be observed. Could dip down to very key support at 125, where you can see we also have all the moving averages coming up. So there should be some very strong support there. The yen pairs are very interesting at the moment, of course, with the market Friday very volatile, spiked higher to 50% of this downtrend here, but it failed to close above, trying to get back above again today, but still trading below. And if we actually see a negative day today, well, then we could see dollar yen sliding back towards 142.50, maybe even lower. So that is really key, that it can close above 144.95 resistance. We have euro yen also testing Friday the 158.55 resistance, couldn't close above, and same picture here, almost similar to dollar yen, sliding a little bit lower. So we could see a move towards this lower rising trend line. It seems like it's maybe forming this ascending because the trend line here is ascending, and there's one up here is virtually flat, ascending triangle-like pattern. So we could be caught range bound between those two lines here for the foreseeable future. Look out for a break to the upside. But there's some resistance. We have the cloud resistance, we have the 55 moving average resistance. Aussie yen, key resistance still 97.58. Being sent back into the cloud, and and I think we should just draw this trend line here. So this is the range that it needs to break out of, 95.80 and 97.58 for really a direction here. So it's a little bit up in the air until then I think we'll be range bound in this area there. Sterling yen, also have a look at that. Got rejected twice Friday and today at 184.32 level. So that's the key resistance there, and of course the cloud area, but it's really the key resistance there that should be observed. We could slide back to the falling trend line here. Also key that the RSI was rejected at the 60 threshold. Aussie dollar did spike just below the 61.8 retracement here at 66.57. Maybe having another go. If it does, well, then we could see a move down to around 65.95, which is also the 7.86 retracement. It is not unlikely. However, we still have the bullish RSI. It hasn't broken below 40. There's no divergence, I think. So we should see this as a correction. It's a large one, but then we should start moving higher. Finally, on the dollar index, we have dollar index was rejected at or testing the 61.8 retracement of the last leg down here, 102.76, and it found support at 101.62. So that is the range you need to wait and see for a breakout for any direction. Gold is sliding lower this morning, also after a very volatile Friday, and I think we will see a test of the 61.8 retracement at 2017, and it's not unlikely it could also drop to around 2000, as you can see here, 1997, which is the 7.86 retracement of this leg up here we saw in late December. 55 moving average coming up, giving some support. We also have the 100 and 200 coming up here, so we should not see a goal to take out the lows here from December. But again, nothing is certain in these markets, but I think we will see gold sliding lower. Still in a positive sentiment, but there was divergence here on the peak here over the Christmas holidays and into the new year. There was nothing over here, but down here was it. Silver, once again trying to get below $23, and it currently is. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 4th day in a row is trying to close below. Let's see if it can close below and below the cloud, which is also key. And we have RSI below 40. So seems like precious metals are a little bit under fire at the moment, or under pressure. And we could see silver moving down to around 22.50. When we're talking precious metals, we should also keep an eye on platinum, trying to test the 952 support once again, and there should be a test of 61.8 retracement here at around 931 and the lower rising trend line. However, we are still in a bullish sentiment and there's no divergence, so I will regard this merely as a correction before moving higher. Finally, on metals, copper has been pushed below 382, close below Friday, and we could see a test of this trend line here. Next couple of days we have the 55 and the 100 moving average coming up, giving some support. We also have the cloud support here. The RSI is above above 40, but there was divergence. As we can see, this peak here was higher than this one, but up here the price was higher there. So maybe we should dip a little bit below the 40 threshold and to around 375 is, and before we see a rebound. Oil market fairly muted. WTI got rejected in an upper falling trend line here, trading around the 61 rate retracement. So it's still quite soft for the oil markets. Brent also taking a little bit of a breather here, just below the 61.8 retracement at $79. We need to break above the falling trend line for upside potential. However, we do have the 55 coming down and the 200 moving average flat here, so there's some really strong overhead resistance. Finally, on the US Treasuries, as usual, did spike up to test the 4.10% here on the US 10-year Treasury yield. I think we will see a little bit of setback. We can see we're a little bit lower this morning, so we should have a little bit of correction lower. We're still not in a bullish sentiment on the RSI. Should move back above 60 before we see that. If we see another break of 410, well, then there's potential up to 425, even 430. But we have the 55 and the 100 moving average coming down there, kind of putting a lid on it, adding some resistance. So we could be caught range bound here, but still with a lot of volatility around these levels. 410, look out for that one. All right, that's all for today. There will be reports on yen and euro dollar pairs later today. Stay tuned for those. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and happy trading.